This is the heart of the mountains. There is little here that spells civilization. Here at the southern end of the Appalachians, a place has been set aside. Here, man and nature are not in conflict, but in harmony. This harmony of man and nature was one of the goals realized in the autumn of 1940. Then a vast tract in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina was dedicated as a national park. As President Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "To the free people of America, I dedicate this park." This is the Great Smoky Mountain National Park.
Smoky Mountain, smoke it in your eyes if you do. I'm telling you.
The great harmony of man and nature that's here in Gatlinburg, which is nestled in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains, was portrayed perfectly by a man who lived here years ago, known as the roaming man of the mountains. And his name was Wiley Oakley. We want to take some time to honor this man and tell a little about his life and history, as he was one of the many people who were responsible for making Gatlinburg what it is today. Several years ago, I spoke with Lucinda Ogle, Wiley's daughter, about Wiley, and here's what she said.
We're here today down at the bottom of Ski Mountain Road at a place called Ogle's Acre. And a lot of you that have traveled on the trolley have driven by here. This is the home of Lucinda Ogle. She is one of the children, one of the 12 children of Wiley Oakley, the famous roaming man of the mountain. And today we're going to talk with Lucinda and with her brother Harvey Oakley. And they're going to tell us all sorts of stories about Wiley Oakley and Gatlinburg in the past. So join us today and learn more about Gatlinburg's past.
Is that where?
Okay, let's go on outside
does that
here.
work where I want it?
You take your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are. This is Lucinda Ogle, and she is famous in Gatlinburg, and she had everything to do with the Wildflower Pilgrimage. Tell me some of the things you remember most about your dad. I know there's thousands of things you remember, but what are some of the ones that just really come to mind?
Well, one I was telling them in there a while ago. We lived with downtown. We lived down there about 30 years, where Martin's Antiques are.
Uh-huh.
We built that and sold it. See, we built this since then and still kept our shop, and we'd go back and forth after the girls were married. But we'd be asleep. We'd think, and somebody did Horse Life. We called it down somewhere around there, and. Ernest said, "Lucinda, get up and see who that is, laughing like that." And I said, "No good." Said, "That's just Dad making somebody happy." And Dad would just chuckle. He was like me. We always liked had a sense of humor. Anything would make you. I think it's your health there if you're happy. I mean,
I think so
find
too.
a sense of humor.
But Wiley always had a good sense of humor and made people laugh. He had a store in Gatlinburg too. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. They had a gift shop for a while. I kept it I put me an antique one in. See, I wasn't competing with them.
No, your dad, he had a lot to do with the promotion of Gatlinburg. Didn't he take
Yeah,
people up in the mountains?
One time I went to promote them too with Dad to Chicago.
Really?
We went on the train, and that was the first time I'd ever been away from home, much, overnight.
And what would you do? Go and talk to people about Gatlinburg and
Well,
about the
there's
Smoky Mountains?
some people who was tourists. I'd bought a little strip with their money for them down here, and they wanted me to come with that, so they kept me while I was there. But we went to the meeting, and everybody just took a fit over. We call take a fit over Dad.
Sure.
They enjoyed him so much.
Of course.
And then they kept asking me and the people and the tourists. People that I bought the Lucas. They kept asking them all about the mountains and everything. So. Really, we were good advertising, and they said they had a lot of places I didn't go, and Harvey.
Uh-huh.
Harvey went with them with his music, mountain music.
What was his slogan about antiques?
On the house, the first house he lived in, they had antiques in it, and it said antiques made to order. But what was the old cupboards and things that he got from people, he'd clean them up in the garage. Had them out in the garage, and then he'd put them on the porch and sold them. So when Henry Ford came to the mountains about, I wasn't looking about buying the park, I believe. Is what he's there for. Anyway, he went up to school to teach all of them. We was all up at school, like Harvey and me and all of us. And Mrs. Ford saw that sign, Antiques Made to Order, and she said it amused her so that she'd decide to go in and see. And the most important part, though, she named my little sister, Clara Jane, after her, because while she was looking around, the little new baby cried, and she went in and got it and wanted to know what its name was. And it is a beautiful little child. Mom said, well, it's not named. And she said, give me a piece of paper and a pencil and I'll name her. She wrote down Clara Jane Ford. See, and she told Mom to put the Ford in there with it. And so that just pleased Dad to death, because he liked to have big, rich folks' names to tell it he had met.
The roaming man of the Smoky Mountain, because I'd been a guide all my life to fishermen, hunters, and so forth. And before the national park was ever talked of. My daddy sent me out at 8 years old, and I've been a guiding ever since. But then later the park come about, and so they gave me a badge, #1 guide, because I knew the Smokies and the trails, and I hoped to lay out all the boundary line. And seeing as I was here before the park ever was thought of. I've had lots of experience, but now they're going to tell you about getting lost. I know a man that was lost. He was missing for 2 years, and I'd passed their home. This old lady'd cry and said, Wiley, be on the lookout for my husband somewhere in the Smokies. You might run on his bones, and if you'd find a skeleton, well, let me know. But 2 years later, they found a skeleton, and he was identified. These bones was by a gun and watch and a little bit of change. And they brought him in and buried him. Now that man was really lost. Maybe I'll tell you a little about the bears out in the mountain. I've met lots of them. And that's what I tell the tourists when they ask me what to do in case you meet one on a trail. I tell them stand still for a little while, and if that bear don't run, why, for them to run. And you won't have no trouble.
Wiley Oakley, roaming man of the mountain way.
As tourism began to grow in the early 20th century, visitors needed guides. Wiley became famous for his incredible sense of direction, storytelling talent, knowledge of plants, wildlife, and hidden trails, and his friendly, humorous personality. He guided wealthy visitors, writers, and celebrities into areas that today are inside the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Wiley became sort of a local celebrity.
Wiley was loved by people from far and near to the hearts of many people. Wiley became very dear. He helped so many people, the beauties of nature to see. Wiley Oakley left a rich heritage for you and for me.
We owe a lot to Wiley, as he was a true promoter of this area and was responsible for telling the world about this great little town, introducing it as the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains. The most interesting thing about Wiley is that there is only one person he resembles, and that was himself. And now, as a special treat, I'd like to introduce Wiley Oakley himself. Come on out, Wiley.
Wiley was loved by people from far and near to the hearts of many people. Wiley became very dear. He helped so many people, the beauties of nature to see. Wiley Oakley left a rich heritage for you and for me. Wiley Oakley, roaming man